Hey everybody, Will and Summer here, and we are joined by our guest, Dr. Juan Bautista. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate definitely speaking with medical professionals in regards to this amazing subject matter of CBD, curcumin, basically ingredients that are very low in bioavailability and increasing that bioavailability to the human body, which is right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me. I also get excited to discuss this because many times we tend as physicians to, work with our scientists and not really get to discuss the clinical practice, meaning going from in vitro to in vivo. And one of the things I really love is the medical community has really started supporting the idea of CBD. And BioRange, in my opinion, is in the forefront of making it obviously more bioavailable, but also it's just constantly making things better, which us as physicians and people really enjoy.
Obviously, CBD oil, you mentioned, is at a very low bioavailability of 5 to 15%. Would you be able to microdose a CBD oil? Versus obviously our BioRange complex.
Right, it makes it extremely difficult. Again, poor availability, and what happens is you have to increase the dose, right? So of oil. So you're giving more and more dosing, and we really don't know how much is being absorbed. So the microdosing is very important, which in my opinion is only available with BioRange.
Yeah, absolutely. And based on the research that we've done, and we've done extensive amounts of research on this, we've been in the CBD game for a while now, is that when they're taking that tincture, okay, and they're putting it under their tongue, they're trying to get past that first pass digestive process, right? Because that will then even lower the already low bioavailability of that CBD oil product. With BioRange, you don't have to do that. Can you explain why we don't have to worry about the first pass digestive process?
Correct. So a CBD oil, the first pass basically means once it enters our system, the liver is what really starts to break down this CBD oil. Unfortunately, because of these enzymes are different in humans from person to person, it's very hard to make it standardized. So goes through the liver, your body metabolizes it, and you get a small percentage, again, from 5 to 15%, varying between people. Now with BioRange, you pass that because this is a CBD aqueous solution with the technology that you use. It 100% mixes into the water and increases that bioavailability, avoiding that first pass. So it's all together.
And this would be true of all of the supplements that are made in a tincture from BioRange also, right? So not just cannabinoids, but the curcumin,
you got it,
and everything found in the biodefense.
Absolutely. Vitamin D, which is in the biodefense, absolutely. And that's another, vitamin D is a very important vitamin, especially for our immune system, what we're talking about in this day and age. Vitamin D is also a fat-soluble vitamin, right? It's one of the fat-soluble vitamins. So this technology, again, improves the absorption of vitamin D. I have so many people that come to me and they say they're taking a over-the-counter vitamin D supplement, and we check their levels and it's still low, right? Poorly absorbed. So they say, Doc, my vitamin D is at 18, which is very low, and I've been taking a supplement for the last 3 years. Poor bioavailability.
Wow. So how exciting as a medical professional are you to have these types of products that BioRange has? I mean, it's new technology.
This is revolutionary.
Revolutionary. And BioRange is the only product, in my opinion, that can cross that blood-brain barrier, making it not only bioavailable, but making it bioavailable to those receptors, those CB1 receptors.
So what would you say to somebody who came to you and said that, well, you know what, bioavailability, it's not that important?
I would want to have a good conversation with them because, again, we can take away from CBD and discuss medications. If you're really getting a low percentage in your body, that means you're going to have to take much more for it to work, increasing side effects, right? Or not working at all. And many times those are those people that will say, CBD didn't work for me. Maybe it just wasn't bioavailable. Maybe it didn't reach the right receptors.
Absolutely. And we're in this day and age where everybody likes to think, well, I'll just continue to take more.
Right.
And that's not the answer.
And that's very important that you brought that up, because taking more, so to speak, can also dull your receptors. So we don't always want these CB1 and CB2 receptors, we don't want constant pressure on them, because what happens, you lose your efficacy. It blunts the response. So we want just enough to take care of your problem. And that is done by microdosing. Yeah, so it all kind of comes together at the end.
So BioRange just came out with a new product called Biodefense.
Oh yeah.
Okay, with amazing ingredients, although CBD is not one of them. They wanted to come out with a product that was strictly to build the immune system.
Right.
And you're very familiar with all the 5 ingredients.
Right, absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about maybe what is the most exciting ingredient to you within there, and how it relates to how everyone's trying to deal with what's going on in today's society.
Right, I wouldn't say there's one ingredient. You're absolutely right. They're all very important, and it's almost like a symphony in our body. The way we look at our body has an amazing ability to heal itself, an amazing ability to fight disease. However, with inflammation, with stress, it can stop working so efficiently. And very important things like getting proper sleep, which is important, having a good diet, which is very, very important. But even with those 2 things, sometimes we need a little extra, especially in our diet nowadays. So processed. And so these, along with good sleep, a good diet, and then adding those supplements can really help our body to fight these diseases efficiently. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's not a place for antibiotics or antivirals, but what we need is our body's ability to fight it itself, right? We need these cells to work efficiently.
Fantastic.
And as naturally as possible.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's doing, right? Stimulating the things our body naturally produces, just producing it less right now. As we get older, stresses in our life. I mean, I don't know about you, but we deal with stress on a daily basis, so our body's not producing as much as maybe it should of certain ingredients.
Well, and the nation's food supply chain has changed from what it was 3 generations ago. What we could get from eating our basic fruits and vegetables and things isn't what it was then.
Right, correct. And it's also very difficult. I consider myself pretty healthy. I exercise, I eat well, but do I really eat those 5 salads that I need to every day? Yeah. Probably not. And so that's why it's very important to supplement. Also due to, certain farming practices and things being so processed, it's very hard to get nutrient-dense foods. Very hard. And adding these supplements is a way to, like you said, help our already the system we have, help the already fighting system, just gives it a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, I mean, the key ingredient like curcumin, we would have to eat lots of turmeric to be able to get, that punch that's in one of our tinctures, right? Because of the bioavailability of it.
Absolutely, and turmeric and curcumin, have been studied for centuries. But you're absolutely right. The bioavailability isn't that great, and so other than going and cooking, which I'm a big fan of, using those natural spices, we can also not eating the same thing every day. You can actually use those droplets in your water and take those every day.
Fantastic. I like to refer to curcumin as the superhero, inflammation is the villain. Yeah. Because I don't know of many other anti-inflammatory natural products that you can get that is even anywhere near what curcumin does to inflammation.
Absolutely.
And I hear you saying inflammation a lot.
Right.
It seems to me like you want to beat inflammation down, right?
Right. And again, our body can fight inflammation, right? Our body naturally can. Due to the stress, due to our aging process, we lose that ability to fight that, and we just need a little bit of help. Curcumin, CBD, vitamin D, all these great things help our body, its innate system to just boost back. It revitalizes it.